Virginia taxpayers' information will be more secure with the passage of HB 275, which closes a loophole in the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, or FOIA. Previously, all Board of Accountancy records associated with closed enforcement investigations were subject to disclosure under FOIA. That loophole could have led to the disclosure of personal and private financial information about Virginia taxpayers.
That was not the original intent of the law, and certainly not the intent of FOIA, which is certainly a wonderful act that provides transparency to taxpayers and the public. But there were certain claims and investigations that were before the board, and people were able to access sensitive taxpayer information. And so we brought a bill to close that loophole and essentially protect the taxpayer information during those processes.
Last fall, one of our board members, Andrea Kilmer from Virginia Beach, raised a concern about the current enforcement process. Ms. Kilmer is involved on a daily basis with enforcement cases that are currently being reviewed by the board, and sees through each of these cases the types of information that comes before the board.
One of the really critical issues that help make this a successful initiative is that tax information and financial information is already extremely protected under FOIA, and there are a lot of exemptions that exist to make sure that this information is not out there in the open forum. So as we've mentioned before, this was a loophole, and that's all we were doing was closing the loophole. As soon as the legislators found out that really this was better protection of the public, we weren't asking for something that is already supposed to be there, it was pretty much a slam dunk.
I think most people didn't know that this loophole was out there, and that's part of the process, to educate and inform my colleagues in the House and the Senate when there are matters that potentially cause great harm to taxpayers, and that sensitive information being readily available to the public would certainly have the potential for harm.
So when we were in attendance at the Board of Accountancy meeting where this issue came up, we immediately recognized that this was going to be a huge problem and something that we needed to take action on immediately. In addition to collaborating with the Board of Accountancy, what we also did was we contacted the Virginia Press Association and the Virginia Council on Open Government. And those two organizations really are the guardians of the Freedom of Information Act, and so clearing it through them was really critical to having a successful bill.
VSCPA members discussed the issue with their legislators on CPA Assembly Day on January the 17th, and their efforts have paid off as the bill passed unanimously in both chambers of the General Assembly before being signed into law by Governor Bob McDonnell. Visit VSCPA.com for more information on our efforts to protect Virginia taxpayers and CPAs.